Hello, good morning. Welcome to episode 2 of Braintrust, the podcast. What we're doing today is we have a conversation about SEO, search engine optimization, something that has been, I think it's one of the most important organic search methods that we can look for, but the game is constantly changing. So it's important for us to be consistently aware of what is happening, and that is why this presentation is happening today. So before we do this, though, I want to do an introduction. If you listened to the last one 2 weeks ago, we are a basically bi-monthly, every other week we meet now on Zoom. We've been meeting a little over 6 years. We're a bunch of small businesses that just use this more as a mastermind for us to have a space for us to share ideas, share problems, and just actually get solutions. And so this is kind of a solution for us to all get some content marketing. So my name is Michael Rattay, Ballbearing Creative / Creative Family Memories. I am a photographer, family legacy videos, family video memoirs, and all that kind of video media. Next is Ginny Kanzioka. Ginny, can you give us a quick intro?
Sure. I'm Ginny Kanzioka, graphic designer and artist. My business is VHK Graphics. I do corporate identity, marketing materials, signage, and some museum work. Thank you.
Thank you. Andy Nathan, good morning.
Hi, my name is Andy Nathan. I am with Creative Smart Contractors. I'm also here representing Bernie, who's also my partner at Creative Smart Contractors, and we help companies with, or we help people rehab their properties.
Thank you. Lita.
Hi, my name is Lita Bunting. I'm the owner of Znimka Creations. I help people organize their digital photos and create luxury photo books.
Thank you. And Brian.
Good morning. I'm Brian Martin, and together with my wife Lynn, we're the owners and operators of Bio1 Chicago North. We're a crime scene and trauma scene cleanup company dealing with biohazards, bodily fluid spills, anything that is too big or too nasty. We're a cleanup specialist dealing with hoarding as well. Okay, thanks.
Right. And so we have a typical cast of characters that attend our meetings. I just want to do a quick intro so we know who is chiming in throughout the presentation. And then I'm going to hand it over to David, and he will give his intro and presentation. So, David, take it away, please.
Thank you very much. Good morning. I'm David with I'm Your Virtual Professional. I help small businesses get found. What I want to talk today about is search engine optimization and understanding the basics of search engine optimization. Before I dive into it, I really want to throw two statistics at you that I find very interesting. The average return on investment on search engine optimization is 748%, according to one study. And according to that study, that really means that for every dollar you spend on SEO, search engine optimization, you get $7.48 back. Another study, which I find interesting, says that organically found, and I'm going to explain what organically is later, but organically found leads are 14.6% more likely to convert than leads through any other way. And I think that's really important when we're talking about search engine optimization and understanding what it is. So what exactly is SEO, search engine optimization? Search engine optimization is made up of a bunch of different parts. The keyword. A keyword is a word or a phrase that is used as part of the content to increase the likelihood that a page is found. The content refers to any type of material on a website that is specifically designed and optimized to rank higher on the search engine results page. This includes words, images, and videos. A link. There's two types of links. There's links from external sites into your website, and then there's links from one part of your website to other parts of your website. Both are equally important in different ways. Then there's landing pages. Landing pages are a standalone web page designed for a specific goal, whether it's to have people sign up for email list, whether it's to sell something, but it's designed with a purpose. Media is press coverages or mentions on other social media sites. And this goes back into the backlinks, which are one of the type of links. They kind of work together. And then rank refers to a position on a website or a web page where your page shows up. So we all want to rank number 1. Is it possible? No, it's not possible, but that's the goal, to rank number 1. Why is it important? Search engines drive 93% of web traffic. And we're all trying to grow our businesses. And the way we grow our businesses, one of the ways is through web traffic. Obviously, there's other ways as well. But we're going to talk about how search engine optimization can drive traffic to your business. There's 4 types of SEO. There's technical SEO. Technical SEO, it talks about improving the website's architecture and the back end. Normally, this is something that a web developer handles, making sure that the code is put together tightly and written well and concise. A lot of this is taken care of if you're using other software packages that have content management systems. But the most important and easiest way to improve your technical SEO is upgrade your hosting plan. If you're using a hosting plan that has faster servers and has newer servers, your response time will go down, which will improve your SEO. If you're using a service that has slower servers, it's going to decrease your response time, and your SEO performance is going to decrease as well. Real quickly, on-page SEO is optimization of the content. On-page SEO kind of ties in with content SEO. It goes into creating content that is important. Now, really what's important is the content. And we're going to spend a lot of time on that. And we're going to look more at optimizing content around specific keywords. And keywords is something that we're going to be focusing on as well. And then real briefly is off-page SEO, which is activities done for websites to increase their site's search and rankings. One of these things is backlinks. And if you remember a few weeks ago when we were talking before we started doing the podcast, I had suggested that we have backlinks going from the group's website to our websites in order to help with the backlinking and that. So that's kind of one of the off-page SEO processes. So what I want to use for the example for today is the keyword, or in this case, it's a long tail keyword, virtual small business consulting services. When I first started doing this, I had a client say to me, how come you're not on page 1? And he's right, I wasn't on page 1. The reality is SEO, everybody who's trying to get on page 1 or small business consulting in the digital marketing world, we're all competing because we all know the same rules and how to get there. And I realized that. And my niche really is virtual small business consulting services. So that became my keyword. And my keyword is virtual small business consulting services. And you could see over here, I have it circled in red. And then you could see, if you punch it into your browser as well, you'll see I come up in page 1. And on this search, I came up in the first spot altogether. I didn't cut and paste. And the way that I did this was following the rules. Now, the rules, which we're going to go into now, are really the best SEO practices. It starts with keyword optimization. You want to make sure your keywords are in the titles, the headers, and the body content. And you don't want, now there's something called word stuffing, which means you just kind of keep putting the same word over and over and over. I had a client that said to me, he goes, well, I know it's important to have the keyword because I kind of explained the keyword to them when I was talking to them. And he said, well, can we just put it in white ink? He called it ink, but it really, it was the color of the color of the text. We just have all the word at the bottom of the page over and over and over in white. I'm like, no, that's word stuffing. That's a no-no, and that'll work against you. So there's a amount of times you can get the keyword in the title, the header, and the body content. And that's something I work with. So for virtual small business consulting, I made sure that it was in the keywords were in the title, in the header, as well as the body content. And then comes the page title. This is important. Words matter. this is what appears in the first line when the post shows up on the search results. And ideally, you do not want it to have it be more than 60 characters, because if you have it be more than 60 characters, you'll see that you see ... after this. So it says professional proven small business consulting services. It says exactly what I'm doing, and it's less than 60 characters. A meta description is the brief description that pops up under the title. This is important. Once again, you need to have, and if you look at the beginning of it, it says specializing in, once again, it says small business consulting services. And then it kind of goes on and talks a little bit more. Understanding that this section is not supposed to be more than 160 characters. Now, if you Google any site, or if you do it in Bing or any of the browsers, doesn't matter, after a certain number of characters, you'll see ... if it gets cut off. So what you want to make sure you do is writing your titles and your meta descriptions, you kind of try to adhere to the 60 and 160. A lot of times people say to me, and a question I get asked a lot is, do you use AI to create content? And what I do say, and I think this is important, is one of the tools that I use is an AI generating tool, but I pump in the titles and I pump in the meta descriptions based on content, and then it gives me back results, and the results follow the 60 and 160 rule. And that helps me create better descriptions. So it's not creating the content for me, it's modifying my content to adhere to the rules and to the best practices.
Add on that those meta things that you were just talking about, that's more part of the back end of the structure with the website, which is where when you're designing these web pages, that's where you're going to apply a lot of the stuff.
So yes, but what I do for my clients also is they'll have a website that's built, and if it's not built in a platform that is readily available, that I cannot access because it's proprietary software, I will give them to give to their web developer the appropriate information to put in there, because web developers don't consider that technical. They consider that content. And so
no, it's different. It's like it falls under the web developer thing, but they're not someone that would typically help you with that. That's right. That is a very distinct between marketer versus web person, because
right. So it's kind of like what I do is I'll give content to a client and I'll say, this is the body, these are the headers, this is what the meta description should be, this is what the title description should be. And I think that's really important, because it all ties together. Yeah. And over here, going back to that technical component, so this is my homepage. My homepage, it doesn't say, virtual small business consulting services in the URL, because it doesn't do that. Because the homepage just has the main address. But a URL should not have more than 75 characters after the domain name. So if you look over here at this page of my website, it says, I'm your virtual professional / know, like, and trust. And what I'm doing there is, in the URL, I'm saying exactly what the page is. And though know, like, and trust follows through on all the different places. It's in the title, it's in the header, it's in the body in the different places, and in the meta description. And when I was working with Lita on her website, luxury travel albums was in the URL. It was in each one of those places as well. And it's important. One of the most important things about SEO is consistency.
I must say, though, David, I felt like it was very repetitive, but it was very effective. So
feels unnatural, right?
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, we're saying these same words over and over again. But it was in the big header, and then we wrote about it, and then it was in a smaller subheading. It was definitely covered, but it's at top of page when you search. So
that's smart. That's props to David. And that's also, like, I noticed that with myself when you read some news things, and I think that's where, if we watch how we scroll through things, if you do like a quick scroll and you just get down to another paragraph and you get so That's what you're trying to hit on, right? Like say the same phrasing, but also for the robots.
And keep it
Sorry.
interesting. But you
Yeah,
are trying
and
to
keep it interesting.
Yeah.
That is the hard part, and it's also to make it sound natural. I was working with
Right.
one client, and their web designer was like, you're ruining the user experience. And I responded, perhaps, but their website isn't getting found by the search engines. So there is
We're
no
ruining
user
their business
experience.
without it.
So it's kind of like there's that, it's that way to user experience getting found. So, I didn't make the rules, but I kind of implement them. So the header tags, think about when I talk about header tags, think about back to your college days or high school days where you wrote term papers and you had the header at the top of the page. So that's an H1, and then there's H2s, H3s, and H4s. And you want to make sure that you properly place the long tail keyword or the keyword in each one, in the H1 once, the H2 2 to 3 times, and then the H3 to H4 once or twice if you have that low level. Anything below an H4 doesn't really matter so much. Linking.
A non-technical way to say that is use the phrasing, use the know, like, and trust, but like, you know, creatively 3 different ways. Like you, right? Like you basically
Exactly.
use the same phrase, but like make it just a little different for all those different things. And that's what you're looking for.
Exactly. So when I talked about internal linking, these are links to other pages. Backlinks are links to and from other websites. Keep it short there. So here, getting to the best practices of linking and kind of tying it into the some of the other ideas. Over here is doing business with people like, and trust, vendors and affiliate partners I know, like, and trust, and then friends of I'm your virtual professional. I kind of put in there, and one of the keywords I had in there besides for your know, like, and trust is one of my keywords was I am your virtual professional. So even though I didn't have know, like, and trust in every single place, and I wasn't necessarily trying to rank this page and get it found, this page was more designed for backlinks as well as for promotional purposes to show who my clients are.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It was like 2 or 3 slides ago when you were talking about the know, like, and trust page. I mean, in theory, I mean, this is where also the science is, and we could do like a 2-hour presentation because there is the psychology of like, because you don't know, just because you want to do know, like, and trust, there could be a different subtly different phrasing that people respond more to, that like, and I think that's the other point that you're also getting at, is that like you can do a bunch of these, like just
For sure. And I think
don't think of you don't need to just SEO like your, obviously is David's thing, but like if we're talking about, I don't want to say these on the podcast so then people are looking for them, but like our specific businesses in our niches that that's the way I think for us to think about those, is like these easily SEO clickable things for best video production in Chicago, like, and think of that for your business, and then 10 other variations in that easily digestible, like how to clean out my hoarding house, or how, like things like that you want. And those kind of become your, I don't know if I'm sorry to cut you off on this. I don't know if those are going to be your anchor pages, right? But then you kind of have anchor pages that become your SEO strategy, because it's not necessarily I'm your virtual professional. It's the how to build credibility page that David is going to write. And then his how to build credibility page is going to go viral. And then that's what's going to bring business to I am your virtual professional. So I just wanted to iterate that.
It all kind of like,
that's
think about it as a block, they're blocks.
right.
They build on each other.
Right.
One without the other, it's going to all come tumbling down.
And you also don't know the direct pieces for either block, like which one fits perfectly. You can only see that they're rectangles and you don't know which ones actually fit. And so that's why you got to try so many freaking headlines.
Keep moving along because I'm looking at
Go
time.
ahead.
Image optimization. You want to make sure the images have alt text, which are descriptions of what the image is. And you want to make sure they have useful file names and sizes. Alt text is really important because once again, you want to have your keyword in there, but you also need to make sure that for people with disabilities, that it picks up for that as well. Content quality. Content is king. Think of the acronym EAT: experience, expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness. This was an acronym posted by Danny Sullivan of Google. And though he says it does not directly affect the ranking factor, it kind of does to a certain degree. They just don't tell you how it does it. And then there's 4 types of content. There's user-seeking information. There's navigational. Investigations. People are researching stuff before they buy it. Then there's the transaction, making a purchase or doing the actual action. What that actual action could be is signing up for your newsletter. Any questions?
Yeah, I got a quick question, David.
For sure.
When we deal with SEO, we usually have a monthly meeting with our team that does it, and they constantly are pegging us for reviews. How do reviews tie in with SEO? Is it off-site? Is it content? What part do reviews play in this?
So reviews are really important. It goes back to part of the EAT, 2 slides back. Authoritativeness. They don't tell you what the formula is. Okay, there's the secret sauce. We all know the rules that authoritativeness is part of it. But what it really comes down to with the SEO is the backlinks do matter. So when you have people put referrals on, either Angie's List, if you're on Angie.com, or you're on, like in your industry, you might be on Google Business, or you have, I don't know are you on House? I know it's another one in that industry maybe.
Most of ours are on either Google My Business or on Yelp.
Okay. So those are all important because it offers authoritativeness. Now, just to give you a side, like a story along with that, don't go paying for reviews.
Mm-mm.
Those will come back and bite you in the tail. That's a 4-letter word I'm allowed to use. But really, those are really bad. I mean, they could really, if you see somebody has 100 reviews and all the reviews are, 5-star reviews, and they are from a person that only has 1 review, that being that 1 review, that's really bad. There's no credibility in that. And that's something that's bad. But if you have, and believe it or not, having a couple 3-star reviews in there or 4-star reviews shows you're human. And this is a whole topic for another day, but you asked. More important than the reviews is that you interact with your reviews. So if you're getting a review from somebody and it's a 5-star review and you say, thanks for the review, I appreciate the opportunity, hope I could help you again, that's a great response. Let's say somebody's really upset because whatever, they were having a bad day, you were having a bad day, there was a misunderstanding, they just are a complainer, whatever it is. Addressing the review and asking what you could do is actually more important than the 3-star or the 4-star or the 2-star of it. The responding to them, showing that you care, and I don't have the exact statistics in front of me, but there's different studies with different statistics that show what the expected response time is. And in general, 12 to 24 hours if you respond, that's considered acceptable. But unfortunately, people expect things like immediate, because we all expect stuff immediately now. That being said, just make sure you respond to your reviews. As
I think you're
important
right.
as getting them.
And that responding to like 2 and 3, you're kind of showing 2 and 3 stars. You're showing customer service. Like publicly in a sense. And yeah, Brian, I think it's like backlink and additional the T. I don't remember what your T was, but it's like that additional credibility
Trust.
from like Yelp and Google, third party sites giving you props. So yeah, also helps.
So, I mean, that's really important. Any other
Awesome.
questions?
Yeah, anyone else?
So you still feel like links are important then? Because I mean, I've heard like a lot of things about links being dead and stuff like that. So I'm asking about that because I don't really pay attention to it as much anymore.
So links are important. No, the reality is the type of link is there's certain links that are better than other links. So if you could get a link from a .edu or a .gov, you're in really good shape. Though, like if anybody has a connection with an edu or a gov, they could get you on, go for it. Links from smaller companies are less valuable than links from bigger companies. So like one of my clients, he had 1,200 and I forgot what, 1,270 something links coming into his site from a variety of places. So I now have on his footer, because that's one of the things I do is I trade links with my clients. So my client gets a link to me and I get a link to them. In this case, that helps me tremendously that he has 1,200 plus links coming into him. And then, so that increases my value. And that's a whole presentation we could talk about, website scores. Unfortunately, though I'm on page 1, my website score is not as high as, Href, which is a major corporation in the SEO game.
I'm sure content as them because they've been doing it for 15 years.
And they have a gazillion internal and external links. So I can only aspire.
No,
Any other questions?
Anyone else? No, that was great, David. Thank you. And that was I think each one of those, that's why I was trying to debate, because one of them, and this is I think SEO in general, we should probably be doing. I know we've done quarterly marketing meetings where we aggressively wrote down blog topics for each other. I think we need to get back on that. I think this podcast is part of us building backlinks for each other, right? So I mean, that's where we're using this sauce for ourselves to provide additional SEO to help every one of our members and everyone that shows up and puts in the time. That's where, that's our logic. So we thank everyone for hanging out. David, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you very much.
David at IamYourVirtualProfessional.com. In case anyone is listening and didn't see that, that's where you can reach out to David for some more info on SEO, or if you found it on YouTube or whatever, the link should be there. But yeah, so I think we did about 30 some minutes. So nice job, everybody. David, thank you so much. In 2 weeks, we will speak again. I don't know. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. Take care, guys. See you in a couple weeks.
Bye.